Hello. This is Taking Task Boxes on the Road, an ADA borrowing library, task box library at Robinson Elementary in Perry County. I'm Nikki Farler. I am an LBD teacher at Robinson Elementary, and I'm partnering with our speech language therapist, who's unfortunately sick today and can't be with us. Here's Heather down here. Heather Sharp. She is a speech therapist with 27 years. Most of those have been at Robinson. I partner with her and work on several of our students who work within task-based ABA learning. Those of you who've never been to Robinson, we're a small elementary school in Perry County in Erie, Kentucky, with about 280 students. Since the pandemic, we have been operating initially, just like everyone else in the spring, on complete NTI and have transitioned to a hybrid model in the fall. Actually started school at the end of August virtually, and then transitioned toward the end of September to a hybrid model, and then currently we're on complete NTI. So what does the hybrid model look like in Perry County? In Perry County, we're working on a complete parent-driven hybrid model where there are two options. Option number one is that students will work completely virtually 5 days a week, and they receive their special education services via Google Meet, whatever situation their family is comfortable with. Option two is students receive in-person instruction 4 days a week, and 1 day a week we are doing Mondays, we're virtual. Meeting the hybrid challenge for us was a challenge that was very specific to our more severe students, because most of them, all of them, chose the option number one to be completely virtual. So that was really, it really brought to life for us. Our number one concern was, how can we continue this task-based learning at home with their parents and continue for them to thrive and make success that they have been making. So our area of focus, our idea, was to answer the previous question: how do we continue task-based learning with them at home with their parents and all the struggles that they've been having during COVID? So over the summer, we polled our parents and found that all of our parents had access to a cell phone. and most of them had service or a way to have internet through their phone via Wi-Fi or something. There was access to a phone with service. They also, shockingly, most of them knew what a QR code was. They had used their phone to scan the code and have it come up in a store for a coupon or something like that. They knew that they existed. So they also said that they were very unsure. Their chief concern was they were very unsure how to complete the tasks in the spring. The tasks were sent home. They were unsure about them. Their child wasn't doing what they would normally do with them at school. We would report and they would do well with us on Google Meet, but with the parents at home, there was a great deal of struggle. And the common response was the one that we have heard throughout the pandemic: I'm not a teacher. I did not go to school to be a teacher. You are the teacher. My kid knows you and does really well for you, but he does not do that at home. So here was our plan of attack. We're going to use the knowledge from the school-based survey, and we decided to, after looking at all of our data, here's how we can help. And the way we decided to make it work was, we're going to send task boxes home with the lunch deliveries on Mondays and receive the boxes back on Mondays. In order to address the parents' concern of, we don't know how to complete the task, they need more reassurance and to feel supported. So each task box, what you'll see down here in the corner, comes with a QR code. For those of you that don't know what QR codes are, they are special links when scanned with your phone that take you directly to the video or whatever link to that QR code. Each box will have 2 QR codes. One with the instructional video from Ms. Sharp and I showing how to complete the task and the appropriate responses for the students and the end goal that we are looking for. The second QR code has progress data sheet where they can check off the task and the appropriate response. This is allowing us to have actual documented progress monitoring within COVID. We also encountered that we're sending home materials, we're sending home school-based equipment. We're also in the process of getting parents to agree to use the equipment and be responsible for the equipment. So they're signing a release for that just like they did with the Chromebooks. To implement our project, we currently had iPads from a previous KVET grant, so we're using those to make the QR codes. It's really easy QR code maker. I have it in the link below. You can go and it'll make the QR code and link it to your video or whatever you have on your Google Drive. So part of the grant we use for digital video recorder, a tripod, and SD cards for the recording. In order to meet all the needs of the students that are being covered in the grant, Ms. Sharp helped, as well as our district occupational therapist, Krista Whitaker, were consulted to help us create a list of tasks and materials that we needed. We also ordered items to be able to create our own tasks. Some of the tasks were ordered, and we're going to look at those in just a second. Some of the tasks are very student-driven and created specifically for that child. So we ordered some materials, cardstock, laminator, packet, laminator, things like that to be able to make our own more individual tasks. So our budget. The bulk of the budget, about $600 of our budget, was used to buy Lakeshore materials and tasks that we could break down. We wanted to make sure, as we discussed, we're doing ABA structured tasks. So within ABA, there's various symbols for fine motor, academic, there's various things, speech, cognitive. So we want to continue that each week and reinforce their visual schedules that we're sending home as well. So we had academic tasks, as you can see right here, reading tasks, some reading tasks for our older students. Sometimes it's really easy within these task box structure things to really focus on the smaller kids because it's I find it's easier to give them and find age-appropriate tasks for them. So we wanted to make sure, especially with this, with the comprehension series and things like that, that we have those for our older students as well. And then you can see down here we have some fine motor, tactile, math. So we have those. We're trying to address all the areas of the structure-based learning and ABA that we can with 2 task boxes a week. So what happens next? In the next week, our school has been on a COVID quarantine due to some positive cases, so we haven't been able to order our materials, so that is happening this week. We're also beginning to put together our list of demonstrations for parents and getting those signatures on our library agreements. Our goal is to have our first task boxes out by mid-November and begin weekly exchanges through that time. We've already been doing this, not as formal since the beginning of the year, trading work and sending home tasks. This will just make it more formal. So after we do all this, how are we going to evaluate outcomes? How will we know that we were successful? Well, we're going to use the progress monitoring data from that second QR code. And then also Ms. Sharp and I are still Google meeting with our kids and actually seeing the progress of the students, at least once a week, face-to-face contact with the kids. Our goal is that they can continue a similar trend line as in-person learning, or an improved trend line from that in the spring, because we did struggle in the spring, and we're hoping that this will assist with some of that struggle. Excuse me. So if you have any questions on our 2020-2021 KVAC Special Education Innovation Grant, please do not hesitate to email me or Heather to ask questions, or if you have ideas on how to make this better, please let us know. We are so thankful for KVAC and their continued support of education innovation in our area. Without the funds for this project, our students would not have the amazing opportunities, and their parents would not feel as supported as they're going to through this project. So thank you for listening, and thank you for continuing to support education innovation in our area.